Throughout Sam's life, reading it in a book never did him any good. He had to touch it, and he had to feel it.
My real passion in life growing up has always been cars and racing and things like that. When I wanted to go off to school, I said, you know what, I'm going to choose a school that had a really good racing program. And so I chose Texas A&M. While I was going to school, I worked as a mechanic and engineer on professional race teams. I thought I was going to work in racing for the rest of my life. I realized that I didn't want to be a mechanic. I wanted to drive race cars. And unfortunately, it takes a lot of money to drive race cars. And that actually is the initial kind of aha moment that pushed me out of racing, pushed me into sales. And I found a company locally when I was working for that company, and I look at my boss and say, okay, I see how much money he's making, I see the kind of life he has, how much he travels. And I said, that's not for me. I'm not gonna make it to where I want to go, which is to be able to afford to go racing, to be able to spend time with my family, for my time to be my own if I stay where I am. So I started researching real estate. So I'm talking to my dad about it, and I'm saying, Dad, this is what I want to do. This is the direction that we want to go.
When Sam first came to me and told me he wanted to quit his job and pursue real estate, my first reaction was negative. He had a terrific job. He was making great money. I couldn't separate myself from being his dad.
It's right about the same time, actually, I'm shopping for a house for me and my wife. We get really lucky and we find this house, and we don't mind putting the work into it.
It was that foreclosed house. You know, it had good bones to it, but the rest of it, I was like, I would not put a single dish into this kitchen. We have to fix it up.
And now we're at the closing table, and I'm looking at the closing documents. The appraisal's in there, and it says the appraisal comes in at 180. So I just bought a house and increased my net worth by $20,000. And I said, I gotta figure out a way to do this again.
I was at a crossroads as well. I was a business consultant. I'm traveling all over the country, away from home all the time. He and I started talking about doing something together.
He comes to me one day and says, oh, I heard this radio ad. Oh, they're gonna teach us how to invest in real estate. And I'm walking into this thing and I've just got a bad attitude about it. I'm already an expert, I've been researching for 9 months, right? Even though I was, that guy sitting like this, and I was angry and I wasn't participating, it started to get through. And I saw the value in what they were bringing. I really had to believe in what they had to offer. Because in order to make that happen, I would have to sell my race car, basically my identity, knowing that I'll get it again in the future. And at the end of the 3-day event, we signed up. We did our full immersion, and then right after that, we start with the coaching calls. So for us, our coach said, okay, you need to focus on getting your marketing out. The very first call we ever got was a call off our newspaper advertisement, and we made $2,500 on a wholesale fee. We took that $2,500, we rolled it right back in our marketing, and we grew our marketing. Initially, we weren't comfortable with the marketing aspect of it. Our coach would say, calm down, everything's gonna be okay. You'll get through this. Just continue following the process. 30 days later, we had another house under contract, purchased it, and when we sold it, we made $25,000. So that was probably our first 3 months that we did those first 2 deals. And then right after that, we got a house under contract that was a flip. Using the coach that we had, we actually got that seller to owner finance us the house. And so all we had to do was pay for the repairs. We got to see the processes at work. We got to see the systems at work because we were doing what our coach told us to. That first year we did 32 deals, and it was just my dad and I.
I was exhausted.
Yeah.
I do not like the telephone. I couldn't do that and then run all the rehabs as well. We needed help immediately.
A friend of mine actually from high school reached out to me. He was interested in learning more about real estate.
I ended up putting out bandit signs, and Sam would teach me how to kind of answer the phones, how to handle a seller lead.
Matt became the person answering all the phone calls. Took that whole burden off of my dad.
When we first started walking into something like this, a project like this would have been daunting, and it scared the bejesus out of us. But now I could walk this property and put a number on it in probably 10 or 15 minutes or less, and be within 5 to 10% of what we actually end up spending on it. And it's only through having the confidence with the processes and the procedures and doing it over and over that we're able to do stuff like that now.
Not only are we on track to do 100 houses this year, but we're on track to be more profitable per deal. We actually sold a house last week. We purchased it, renovated it, listed it, and sold it. I've never been there. The FortuneBuilders systems has allowed us to separate ourselves from that process completely. The beauty of real estate investment is you can build it as big as you want or as small as you want, but you can absolutely build the life that you want. For me, not having the money to pursue my dream hurt a lot. That was a strong enough why to push myself to go after more. Just like racing, it's you and the car and the strategy of working the field. And it's the exact same thing that we see in business. It's you in your business, pushing yourself, pushing the team to do more and achieve more every single day.
When you can sit here and watch young people achieve things that people 50 and 60 years old have never achieved in their life because they haven't had the right roadmap and they haven't had the right people around them, and you watch these people do it, it's the most fulfilling thing on earth.
We've built a real business that is impacting lives, and we've built an awesome team, and we just couldn't have done it without the foundation that is FortuneBuilders.